Hello everyone. Hello sir, good day. I'm Marilo Bibakang from BSHN 4B. So here are my learnings from your subject. I learned that literature is writing that uses artistic expression and form and is considered to have merit or be important. As an artistic term, literature refers to written works such as novels, short stories, biographies, memories, essays, and poetry. So, some examples of literature uh, are the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Iliad, the Odyssey, the Mahabharata, Beowulf, and the Great Gatsby. So, in the Epic of Gilgamesh, this story is about recounts the tale of the hero king of ancient Mesopotamia. So, Gilgamesh has encounters with creatures, kings, and gods, and also provides a story of human relationships, feelings, loneliness, friendships, loss, love, revenge, and fear of death. So, the death of Enkidu breaks Gilgamesh's heart and sends him on a quest for immortality. But of course, the major teaching from the Epic of Gilgamesh is that death is inevitable. And Gilgamesh wastes so much time and energy in a full-time effort to find eternal life. He turns his back on a family and friends to wander the wilderness in search of something he can never have. And next is the Iliad. So, Iliad is an epic poem written by the Greek poet Homer. So, Homer wrote the Iliad. So, it tells the story of the last year of the Trojan War fought between the city of Troy and the Greeks. So, the Iliad is an epic poem that tells the final year of the 10-year Trojan War, where Greek city-states sieged Troy in order to regain Helen, the wife of Menelaus, or the king of Sparta, who had been abducted by the Trojan prince Paris. So next is the Odyssey. So the Odyssey is Homer's epic of Odysseus' 10-year struggle to return home after the Trojan War. So Homer also wrote this story, the Odyssey. So while Odysseus battles physical creature and faces the wrath of the gods, his wife Penelope and his son Telemachus stave off suitors vying for Penelope's hands, and Ithacius runs long enough for Odysseus to return. But what Odysseus shows us the power of telling our stories. Pleasure comes from knowing pain behind us, but also comes from understanding where we fit in the world. So this sense of belongingness comes in apart from other people, knowing what we have experienced. Next is Mahabharata. So Mahabharata is one of the earliest and the most popular epics in India. So it was written in Sanskrit by Vyasa around the 3rd century. So it is an essential and foundational text addressing Hindu morality and history. So the Mahabharata is comparable to another ancient Indian epic, the Ramayana, although it is longer and focuses on different storyline. So the plot of Mahabharata revolves around the struggle for political power between two groups of cousins, which named the Pandavas and the Kauravas. So it is made up about 100,000 couplets divided into 18 sections, making it the longest epic in the world history. Next is Beowulf. So Beowulf is the oldest known work of English literature. It is an epic poem about a warrior named Beowulf who defeats several powerful monsters. So, an epic poem, also called a heroic epic, is a long-form poem usually about the exploits of a single heroic character. Many of the oldest works of literature, including the Epic of Gilgamesh, the earliest surviving literature work, are epic poets. The only surviving original manuscript of Beowulf's story was most likely composed between 700 and 1000 CE. Scholars debate the exact date heavily, so its author is anonymous. But the manuscript was most likely copied from earlier sources by two Christian monks. Beowulf exemplifies all of the important characteristics of a hero and king in his culture, including strength, courage, dignity, and proper interactions with others. He is handsomely rewarded for his actions, and although he dies at the end of the story, his death is a glorious one. So, his death was so also meaningful because he died with dignity. He died as a glorious one. So next is The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby is a famous 1925 novel by American writer F. Scott Fitzgerald in 1896 to 1940. So a simple The Great Gatsby summary is the book is about Jay Gatsby. So it is all about a rich, enigmatic man living in New York during the Roaring Twenties. So this story is most likely can be stayed from a rags to riches. The book told from the narrator Nate Carraway points of view described Gatsby's failed love affair with a woman named Daisy Buchanan and the disastrous results of his efforts to start a relationship with her. So Jay Gatsby fell in love with Daisy Buchanan. Daisy was a rich girl who loves to have a luxury clothes, bags, luxury life. But before, Jay Gatsby was not that kind of person who is rich. So Jay Gatsby was very in love by Daisy Buchanan. So he promised to himself that he will become rich someday, so that he can fall in love. He will get Daisy back so that they can be together. So that he can afford also the luxury life that Daisy wanted to. So that's why Gatsby fell in love affair with a woman named Daisy Buchanan. So he had a love affair with Daisy Buchanan because that time when he came back, Daisy had a husband named George Wilson. So, and the disastrous results of his efforts to start relationships with her. And well, the story doesn't end up happy because Jay Gatsby was killed by George Wilson, and Gatsby and Daisy didn't have a chance to be together to continue their love story and live a happy life because Jay Gatsby was murdered by George Wilson. So he was killed by George Wilson, and so Daisy and Jay Gatsby doesn't end up happy together. So their love story, their love story didn't continue. So overall, in this subject, literature, I learned that that literature allows us as a person to step back in time and learn about life on earth from the ones who walk before us. We can gather a better understanding of culture and have a greater appreciation of them. We learn the ways of history is recorded in the forms of manuscripts through speech itself. Literature opens up us to a wider range of emotions. We learn to shift our perspective by putting ourselves in the shoes of others. We learn about who we are and who we want to be. And we experience the second order consequences of choices without having to live them ourselves. So that's all. Thank you for watching. Bye.